the fridge before we cooked again, and it was not funny. I think we ate for like 2-3 days.
Keep my dignity to keep me clean. Stop the devil watching over me.
Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on to this video. If you're new to the channel, kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. If you're a returning subscriber and viewer, thank you so much for always coming back to watch our videos. So in today's video is part 3 of the budget series. And in today's video, we are going to talk about how to survive on a low budget. This is more or less to say a part 2 of last week's video. So let's do this. So I have my notes here, so you'll see me looking down to just check on my notes. And the first thing we're going to talk about is that create a budget that works for you. We will not get tired of talking about budget on this channel because that's the only way you're going to get to your financial goals and your financial freedom, because you will have been in control of your finances. So first, you need to plan for your money, and you don't have to wait until you have your paycheck for you to plan for it. Plan beforehand so that you can make the necessary adjustments before the end of the month or before the payment is made if you're in business. This does not only apply to people who are employed, it also applies to people who are in business. So the next thing is that you should have your savings goals in place. Don't wait until that you have some extra money. That's when you're saving, or that's when you're thinking, oh, there's something like saving. Well, that will not work. So your saving should be part of your budget. And remember, we said, and we will say it again and again, if you want to grow, you have to grow your savings, and you have to save with a purpose. The savings should be saved for a specific purpose. Don't just save because you want to have savings. That will beat the logic of the savings. So the next thing is this I will mention. If you're struggling to come up with a budget, you can always take a budget class. Remember, we are here. You can reach out to us on our Instagram or TikTok, and we will help you out where we can. The next thing we're going to talk about is lowering your housing expenses. If you watched our previous video, I think 2 videos away from this video, you will see, or you can tell how we categorized the housing expenses. So once you understand what are your housing expenses, because it's not just the rent, the mortgage, and just the basics, it includes a whole lot of other things. So I'll link the video down below so that you can also watch it and understand what it entails to talk about housing. So for you to manage your housing expenses, you need to first know which ones they are. So check out our video and understand them. The next thing is ensure that your housing expenses are in line with your budget and they're in line with your income. In our now immediate previous video, we said you can always cut costs by moving into a cheaper house if you still want to maintain the same status of the estate. Obviously, if you move to a smaller house, the status of a house goes down, or you can move to the similar size of a house but in a slightly cheaper estate. The other thing I will not talk about in details, because remember, we have said it before and it is just the immediate video before this. The one thing I'll talk about, which I have also said in a previous video, is renting out your room. If you have an extra space that you're not using often, you can rent it out once in a while, for instance, some sort of an Airbnb, and you make some money out of it. Yeah. So the next thing is eliminating debt. Remember, as long as you have debt hanging on your head, which is not especially reducing, it will haunt you until you pay it in full. So the best thing is to reduce the debt as much as possible. Remember, we said you can always consolidate your debts if you get a good rate for a reduced interest rate. And you should always be conscious about falling behind your payments and the consequences of you falling behind your payments and the penalty that you may incur. So let it be very conscious in your mind that you really need to also have in mind your debt even as you plan your budget. The next thing is be mindful about food spending. So we all have to eat day in, day out, breakfast, lunch, dinner, even the ones who skip one of the meals. But remember, one of the biggest expense in the house is food. It takes even sometimes maybe 40% of your expenses. Just check through how much you spend on food as compared to any other expense and look at how you can adjust the cost of food to be able to accommodate your low income. For instance, if you like eating out, it could be time that you come up with ways of not just eating out, but still doing something out of the ordinary. For instance, you can decide to have a new recipe every month. You can decide to have a new recipe every 2 weeks, and you just cook it at home. Of course, check out Jess Cuisine for recipes, and also on this channel there are some recipes. So don't struggle looking for recipes. We have you covered. So as we also look at cooking at home, maybe you can decide sometimes you cook as a family, sometimes you cook as a couple. I mean, you can always look and create ways of making a saving when it comes to food. The other big thing I have said, not on this channel, but in our kitchen channel, please check it out. If you have not subscribed, kindly join the Jess Cuisine family. So what I said is meal planning. One of the major things that feedback I received from the meal planning aspect and coming up with a menu is that people come up with menus that they can't keep up with. You don't honor your own menu. So what I would suggest is, if you're not able to honor your own menu, don't come up with one for like a whole month. Go to your fridge on Sunday, on Saturday, check what is available. Come up with a menu for that week and you'll be good to go. Don't stress over what is not in the house, and remember you can always substitute for what is not available at that point in time. Yeah. The next thing is you really have to manage your grocery expenses. You don't have to shop randomly. You plan your shopping so that if possible, you shop in the market where you get better rates. Comment down below if shopping from the market has really worked out for you. Perhaps sometimes it is expensive on some people because you just need a few items. Yeah. There's also another tip that I have shared again on Jess Cuisine Kitchen about finishing everything that is in the fridge before you cook again. In a previous video, please check out Jess Cuisine so that you can get to keep up with our videos. So in a previous video, I shared how I was cleaning up my fridge and just checking out what was spoiled in the fridge, what we have not eaten in the fridge and all that. And I realized I wasted a lot of food, and it really hurt me, because someone out there would actually need that food. So instead of donating, I'm here throwing it away just because I am cooking food after food after food. So it is better to be disciplined, cook enough maybe for a day or two if that is how you cook. And in case you decide to cook a lot, you better finish before you go to the next one. So like in my case, we ate whatever was in the fridge before we cooked again, and it was not funny. I think we ate for like 2-3 days, but from that time we have been able to create a system of no food in the fridge for more than 2-3 days. The next thing is the cost of entertainment. Remember, we said you don't have to not to have entertainment just because you're on a saving mode. In a previous video, we said that you can look for free events around your area, or just not so far, or within your city, and you visit the sites which are free of charge and you get to enjoy. For instance, if you're in Nairobi, you can walk to Uhuru Park, just have your free time, chill out there, and then go back home. It may not sound exciting, but it gives you a new feel, as in you have felt like you have been out there rather than just spending time at home. If you're in Mombasa, you can walk through Mama Ngina. I mean, there are so many places you can have free entertainment. If you know of a place, please comment down below. Let us know even your area. Tell us, we would like to also visit. Remember, this channel is all about saving. So whenever we are able to visit for free, we are in for it. So please let us know which places we can visit in your neighborhood. On that note, we have the hikes. You can just take a hike. You don't have to look for big things. Oh, I want to go to another town. I want to go to another country. You don't have to do all that. The other thing you can do is you can do like dinner parties as friends. For instance, this week or this month, a certain friend hosts you. Then the next month, like that, and you still find it as a fun event than necessarily having to go out of your way or out of your house, out of your estate, out of your town to look for that entertainment. The other thing is take care of your health. Your health is your wealth. So as long as you're healthy, you'll be able to do everything that entails a normal person. But if you're unhealthy, you will have a hard time, because even the medical expenses are going to eat up. Everything will, imagine you're in pain, imagine you're paying bills, something you can avoid. So that's something to look out for. So by taking care of your health, you need to sleep enough. Some of us are struggling with that. You need to exercise, and you need to eat a balanced diet. The other thing we're going to talk about is your car expenses, or I would also put it as transport expenses. So your car expenses, maybe you can reduce your insurance, you can use less fuel, you can have a few DIY of your repairs. You do your basic repairs. Okay, when it comes to service, you get it free of charge in most gas stations, service stations, and so you can't save much on that, but you can reduce your movement. Just the same way we say, when you're reducing your transport expenses, you reduce your movement. If you were used to go and party out of town maybe like twice or thrice a month, you can reduce it to once. You can actually reduce it to twice, or once in 2 months, once in a quarter. But if your travel involves visiting your parents, remember, we need to take care of our parents, and therefore don't skip visiting your parents. Don't abandon your parent in the village or your people who may need you. Always remember to have them in mind. The other thing I want to talk about, I think it will be like the last thing, is donations. Remember, you have to look at how often and how much you're donating, which we discussed in our previous video. But that is an area that you find yourself spending so much money. Sometimes it's good to evaluate whether it is an investment or it is a worthwhile donation. You may give someone and they keep swindling the money over and over and over again. So why should you give them more money? So just give where someone will add value either to that money or add value to their life using that money. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new, kindly subscribe, it's down there, and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. If you're a returning subscriber and viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. We value you. Let us know the videos that you want us to share, and we thank you very much for your feedback, because most of these videos that you see on the channel, they are your requests actually, including the one that I am recording right now. So we continue to appreciate your feedback, and we look forward to you suggesting more videos to come. So see you on our next one. Bye.
Keep me clean. Stop the